Hey everybody, Texas Stroker Airlines, this is Performance Shop Lone Star Mopars.com. It is Thursday, got home relatively early. It seemed warmer outside. It is like ice in the shop. I've got my late 70s space heater keeping my sock line warm. And the hands and rest of me are frozen, but we're going to warm up quick because we got KC Tool Haul number 70. I'm going to tell you right now, this one is fresh. It literally just showed up today, and it's not from something that I ordered a long time ago. It's from something that I ordered about 2 or 3 days ago. And that, of course, was spurred by a fantastic tool of the day. So I'm telling you that because I've currently recorded and edited and uploaded 69. That goes way back. And then I've got a whole string of stuff here that I've got to sort through that goes also way back, and so this is kind of getting interjected. There's 2 reasons for that. One, it's really cool and I'm super excited about it for various reasons you'll hear towards the end of the video. And 2, I kind of need to get it going, so you'll kind of see how it pans out. The other segue there is this, the seasonal. I don't want to have a video where I highlight this, and then if I did this chronologically, like by the way I brought it in down there, you wouldn't see this until way late, like fall, you know, late summer, early fall, who knows, and then it's not worth anything to you. So this is the current seasonal, or as KC Tool calls it, their winter 2022 event. And if you can note, it is about Heyco. My hand over here is like ice, even though it's gloved. And these are kind of the big ones. You've got the 3/8 Varicat ratchet. That's a 72 tooth, if you did not know. And then you've got those sweet green acetate handle drivers. If you think, hey, those look familiar, yep, we brought them in as soon as they became available. That's another video we sort of interjected ahead of time. And then right here, if you think that looks familiar, I would agree. Eerily similar to what we've gotten from Gedore. Granted, you know, they're not blue, although that would look super cool. They're just sort of that golden finish on them, you know. And then they've got some hex keys, they've got some tubing cutters. This is the promotion. If you go to the main page, kctool.com, you can then go down and find the seasonal, and all this stuff is available. While we're on the topic of promotions and sales, I want to mention they also have a deal going on the essentials, the German tool essentials that you always see like right below if you scroll down a little bit on the home page. That's a deal where I think it's buy one get one half off. Don't hold me to that, I could be mistaken, but it's a pretty good deal. So kind of see what they've got there. If you need anything, it's a great time to add another item to your cart. Take advantage of that promotion. Now, in terms of the Heyco stuff, I do have a Varicat ratchet. I have used this primarily as quarter drive, if you couldn't tell. It's also for people that like green tools. I mean, that's a pretty sweet little setup. If you've forgotten, it's a quick release and it translates all the way down. The switch I actually like, and then the handle, it's sort of squared, and that's mimicked with the comfort grip handle. Again, you know how I am with undersized things, but with quarter drive you sort of have to accept it and see what you like the best. I've used this a pretty decent amount, but it's always been for like those weird 7 and 8 millimeter quarter 5/16, you know, like body panel fastener things. So no real issues, but that's kind of gives you an idea there. And then just because it's such a nice look, check that out. They even still have the West Germany on there, but super awesome. Again, if you didn't know, Heyco, based in Ireland, so they've got some pretty cool stuff going for them. KC Tool, if you did not know, when I brought that stuff in, they significantly expanded their Heyco selection. So, what do we have going on? Why is this important? Well, tool of the day was fantastic. And I'm not going to lie, I cashed in on 2 of them. I'm also not going to lie, KC Tool had 2 in stock. I've got several orders that I've placed. I've been waiting a pretty good amount of time for some stuff. And spoiler, if those come in, that's why I've sort of not... Typically I would steamroll through these and just have the videos ready to go. I've got so many ready. I don't want to do that, because if something new comes out, or if like one of these things comes in, you know, and I sort of want to insert it ahead of time, I can easily do that by not having these recorded and numbered already. So I know a lot of people sort of like record, you know, in their garage the night before, throw it up that night or something. I kind of have to treat this more like a business, in the sense that I can't wait till the last minute because I might be swamped. like in the real world at work, and that has to take precedence over this, which is kind of more or less a hobby type thing. So the other thing I'm kind of sad about this, I'm not gonna lie. Number one, no German tool sticker pack. That's on us. We did not hit the $100 threshold. We did hit free shipping. I had to work to make that happen. More on that shortly. But one of you informed me, again, I've not had anything come in. I placed some orders, but nothing's come in for quite a while. And there's been a change. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know if it's like temporary. I don't know if this is like sort of a very, very limited deal. But the bit of thinks, which is almost always a KC tool stamped Felo number 2, it's now from Vitt. And that would have been awesome, because it's going to tie in really, really well with this tool haul. I was gung-ho about it. That's one of the reasons I made myself come out here. I really wanted to check the bit out and, you know, kind of see if it was stamped, compare it to the Felo, all that good stuff. Did not get a bit of thanks. And you think, man, you don't need a bit of thanks, do you? And it's like, well, I mean, technically not really, but I mean, when they change, there's some Felos ready to go right there. So hopefully, like when this other stuff comes, if they're still doing the Vitt bits, we'll get them and kind of inspect them and contrast them and everything. But let's get rolling here with some repeat offenders. And they're right there. And what are they? Well, you probably know if you're a veteran viewer of the channel, they're pens from Gedore. I actually really like these. They write in blue ink, and guess what they cost? 71 cents. Now, if you haven't been on a tool haul in a while or watched my channel in some time, I want to remind you I have everything linked and time-stamped down below. I still make nothing off of that. I'm not out here like trying to flip stuff. I'm just buying. This is, if you were a best friend or wife that had to put up with me or whatever, this is what I would do. So why did I get 4 of these? Well, I wanted free freight, and I was literally that close. I was like $2.63 away. And if you're thinking, man, that's a cop-out, you know, you just beat it by 20 cents. Everything that I was trying to add was out of stock, and it was one of those deals where it was going to like push it back, you know, about a month or, you know, 6 weeks in some cases. And the other deal, as I mentioned, there were literally two of these items in stock, and I kind of wanted to get them for showcase purposes, for kind of a big deal on the channel purposes, and also a birthday gift for my nephew, which if I had to wait like the 4 to 8 weeks, probably wouldn't have had it in time. So that was sort of my spurning there. But a couple of cool items. I always keep them handy on the wish list, you know, like in the, you know, $3 to $12 to $20 range, just in case. Like tool of the day was an awesome pair of Stavila pliers or something, and I'm like, man, that's awesome. And then it's like, yeah, I gotta pay like, you know, 12 bucks in freight. That sucks. Boom, I'd rather buy, you know, $15, $20 worth of a tool and not pay the freight. So I always tell you that, and I actually practice it myself. In this case, it's not something super cool, but it's something super useful. So again, I actually literally have these pins all over the shop. The more the merrier, because I constantly find that I move them and then I misplace them, and if I have more, it's harder for me to do that and go without. So this right here was, I'm not gonna lie, also sort of a filler piece, but also ties in really well with what we were doing. So this, if you don't know what MAXX is going to translate to in terms of German tools, that's going to be Vitt. And I don't know that I've ever gotten like a standalone box for a Vitt product. And the Cutex is far away, so we're going to have to grab this guy, a little card, see what he can do for me. And this is kind of an interesting item. The price point on it, let me verify before I screw it up, $7.17. You can probably wait, maybe catch like a promotion, but honestly, if you really need one of these, that's not a super bad price to pay. Just gonna tear it. I don't know why I didn't just do that the first time, but we gotta get, I can't say it yet, the secret to comedy right here. Oh, come on. Okay, well, you know what, we're just gonna tear some more here. I kind of hate doing that. I always have to shop back that mat, and there was the issue. Figured it out. Alright, there we are. Throw that to the side. That's off the camera. It's fine. But anyway, what I was going to say is let's get to the point. Quite literally. This is just an awl from Vitt. And I've never had one from them. I find myself using these probably not for what they're intended, which would be to like poke holes in soft materials. Although I do that, particularly with like cardboard. When I'm like doing a big project and I'm like, This is going to take a while. I'm not sure when I'm going to finish it, and instead of me thinking I'll just remember where all the hardware goes, I actually punch it in cardboard. These work really well for that, especially one like this that's bigger. Usually it's like a dainty little tool, you know, kind of like stubby size. This is like a standard, you know, 100mm 4-inch shaft looking one. And what's cool about that, if you've got like, let's say what we had with the Heyco earlier, you know, 1/4, 5/16 hardware, you know, metric equivalents, you just punch there. If you've got, you know, like 3/8 bolts, you just keep going. So it doesn't continue to taper, it gets to like a standardized shaft, but I gotta say they come in handy for that. The other thing they come in really handy for is I use them as locators. Obviously I don't use the tiny ones unless it's like a tiny delicate part, but you know, a lot of times like when you're mounting or mating things up, you've got a deal where you line it up and then it doesn't slide and you kind of have to twist and shimmy it to get it to go. And then when you do that, you know, like hole 1 is here and hole B on the back side is not centered, but like right here. You sit there and you try to spin it by hand and you can't. If you can just come in with something like a small screwdriver or an awl, you can sort of pry it and boom, you're home free. The other thing, these look amazing, they feel amazing, I love them. If you're a tri-lobe fan, this is one of the few remaining tri-lobes for you. If you look right there, you've got the bottom end. I'm going to pull this up top. It's just a circle. I don't know. I thought maybe they would do like the Stavilla printout, you know, that they do, where it's like the part number or would have a picture of the item. It looks like an eye is staring at us. I legitimately don't know. I guess the logic is that would simulate the shaft. You know, it's not like a Phillips or a slotted or a posi. I guess in that sense it works, but for the average person, if we had these like on a vertical organizer, I don't know that people would know what that is. It's like the all-seeing eye of screwdrivers or something. But fantastic color scheme here. I have zero complaints on that front. And again, it helped me tack $7 on the order, and I got something useful, something I'm gonna like. And I have to say, that's probably gonna be my best handled awl. So gonna work well on that front. Now, this is the end. We're coming up on the final 2 items. Again, one for me, one for my nephew. Body armor that I keep handy to pour other liquids into. That's one of the super big cups, by the way. That's why it sits here on the workbench. But let me just go ahead and throw this down. I'm going to try to find the one that looks the worst, and that's what I'm going to take. And then I'll give my nephew the better looking one. Wait a second. Could this be? Okay. Pay attention to the drop down right there. Pay attention to this. No, we got it. Oh, this is why you have to stick around or use the timestamps to spoil it. The bit of thinks had fallen in one of the boxes. And, oh, buddy. Let me... Oh, yeah. It's time. It's really happening. You know how excited we got when they did the like Vitt-ah bits? Never did complete that set, by the way, sad face. But check this out. Okay, so the card, the bag, everything's the same. Here we go. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna need to look at that because the card may be different. So, more on that shortly. Alright, right here is business side number 1 in terms of our stamping. You can see it's PH2 Germany, so Phillips number 2, made in Germany. Spin it around, we got blank side, and then we've got KC Tool right there. Spin it around, blank, we're back to Phillips 2 Germany. Bit itself looks very Vitt-like, I must say. I'm half tempted always to say Witty, you know, like with Vitt-ah, people are like, ooh, Wee-ha, which actually is pretty catchy. But with Vitt, it's almost like Witty, you know, it'd sort of be like the Vitt-ah, Wee-ha equivalent translation, you know. Anyway, pretty good looking bit. I cannot see, one of the cool things with the Felos is you can see the machine marks. Don't see any here, but it looks impressive. Now, if you're thinking like, how do you know that's Vitt? Well, I don't know right now. I'm relying on a viewer, one of you that's gotten some stuff in recently. Check this out. We're gonna read the card now. Confirmation 100. Please enjoy this complimentary German-made number 2 Phillips bit by Vitt tools. Our way of saying thank you for your business. Sweet! There's finally a change, and that means we can also come in, because you saw them earlier, there's no shortage of bit of thanks. Alright, there we are. We have got our newest edition, the Vitt down here, and then we've got the Felo right on top of it. So pretty cool stuff if I don't say so myself. Or the Felo, I'm sorry, is the bottom bit. You can probably tell by the colors, which shows up way better from a distance, but up close, sort of with the light, it's kind of hard. But yeah, it's rare that these change, so it's kind of a big deal. But you'll definitely, if you just kind of been getting these and throwing them off to the side, you probably did not even notice. But yes, there has been a change. So, pay attention to your next coming KC tool orders, or maybe you got something and you just pulled out a wrench you had to have for a job and you left everything else in the box. Go now, pause the video, come back, whatever you got to do. Go check out your new bit of things, because it changed. So, back to our regularly scheduled program, though. You've kind of seen what I did, and I just want to give the better looking set to my nephew. It's a gift. I would do the same for one of you. Interesting here. Let me just bring these down so you'll know I'm not lying. I legitimately do have two of these. Let's just go ahead and talk about what they are. This is Vitt's part number 663865 5-piece MaxxPro Plus slotted and Phillips screwdriver set. This would set you back $53.99, standard price at KC Tool. I did not pay that. Why? Because I'm special. Why? Because I look at Tool of the Day. That's right, this was Tool of the Day, and it was a super good buy. I want to say it was on for like 31, maybe 28. It was an insanely good deal. Shot Derek a message. I was like, dude, you gotta, if you were ever wanting to try Vitt, this is the time to do it. This is the top of the line driver from Vitt, and most importantly, it's the updated version. Okay, so I'm losing my train of thought. What I want to say here is this is the biggest driver on this set, and then the biggest driver on this set is here, which is kind of interesting. You've got it, small, medium, large. And then here you got like small, large, medium. Just an observation. Some of you won't care, some of you will. But coming in, I was talking to you, I was saying, hey, this is the updated version. And if you're like, oh, that looks really familiar, I kind of like my Matco drivers. Well, guess what? These are from Vitt. This is literally the exact same driver, just rebranded, different colors, all that jazz. Yes, I am aware. Shortly after doing this Matco 5K tool haul, that they released these in a pretty cool looking blue color. It's almost like a winter ice. It's not like a Mopar blue or a royal blue. It's just sort of like a chili blue, sort of like a Hazette teal almost, right? Might bring one in, might not. Don't really have to with these, because I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love that color, I would get that filthy, and this I won't do that as badly too, although we might still bring one in. But if you like Matco drivers, they're top of the line ones. These are Vitt, they're made in Germany. This is the KC Tool equivalent, if you will. Now, the reason that's important and the reason the Matco guy came out is because we've had this, and we've had this for quite some time, anxiously waiting. I use quite a few MaxxPro drivers. Just this is the one that we've set aside for showcasing and testing purposes, right? This was the MaxxPro Plus. I knew that this changed. You've seen these. If you think like, dude, you've already had these on the channel, what is the deal? Get on with it. No. It was the Torx Set. And if you recall, and just so you know, I'm being honest, Phillips versus Torx. Very, very nice. These are like my main Torx drivers. I have them sitting in Vitt-ah stands over here. I use them all the time. If you watch the Ram Revival, you'll probably see them make appearance after appearance. Anything I do off camera, that's why they sit here. They're my go-tos. So, what I liked about these, one, was the color scheme. Two, it was the fact that these are the MaxxPro Plus. MaxxPro Plus, what does that mean? You kind of get like that felt pad. And what is that going to do? It's not just for comfort, it's actually, if my hands were covered in transmission fluid right now, I could grip this with the pads a little better than I could grip it without the pads. And the example piece there, the reason I didn't grab a standard MaxxPro, is that's what that awl is. That would be the standard equivalent to this. So, if you're thinking like, wait, I remember you've brought these in, and I recall they weren't Torx, it was like a 5-piece set just like that. You're 100% correct, but again, they were not the MaxxPro Plus. They were the MaxxPros. I've got those on the Ulsa Blue magnetic rail, and man, did they look good. Like, just in terms of storage nirvana for screwdrivers in that color scheme, I'm not sure we can do much better than that. But the big deal here, number one, gift from my nephew. Number two, I think it's gonna like be, I honestly was gonna get him Vitt-ah drivers. I was also kind of wanting him to be in a video with me, and I was just gonna throw out like 80 different drivers, whatever idiotic amount we have at this point in time, and I was gonna let him go through and like handle them, feel them, see what he thought was the best, and that's what I was gonna go with. And then I thought, nah, I'll just get like a set of Vitt-ahs for him, you know. And then this is just the color scheme. I'm not gonna lie. Red and black actually not a bad color scheme for my nephew either, but this right here, it's really good for him. So I'm stoked about that. The fact that these were on sale, the fact that these, sorry if anyone else wanted these. Again, one set not getting open, it's going to my nephew. The other set, we're about to open it up. But I'm going to tell you this right now. The reason that this was a big purchase for me, this is not a need, this is not, you know, a necessity, there's not a job waiting that required one of these 5 drivers. It's not a deal where I've broken everything that I have, nothing like that. What this is going to allow me to do, finally, to the best of my knowledge, I have every Vitt handle style. If you're thinking like, what's the big deal? Well, what we're trying to get at though is I have waited so long, you know, and we have this, but my thing was I wanted to showcase the old style and the new style, and most importantly the new style, because you're gonna have a hard time finding this one now, right? And ironically, I shot Colin an email like the day after. I wanted to make sure that this set was really the MaxxPro Plus in the black and blue updated configuration, because for the longest time, you know, I was just buying these singles, right? I don't need the sets. Actually, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But I wanted to have an opportunity to, you know, get the single. And I never could do that because they had so many of these in stock, being a number 2 Phillips and the most popular shaft size and everything. He was like, man, I don't know when we're ever going to get the new design in as standalones. And as you might have guessed, I shot an email and I was like, hey, you know, I finally picked these up, man. I'm super excited. Got one for my nephew. And then topic was broached, and yeah, if you really want to experience one of these and you don't need the set, or you're like, man, I burned through number 2 Phillips, it's my main thing. If you like the new design, they are available as singles. You might want to verify with KC Tool. It could be like a transition point still, but they do have the new updated design in. I'll try to remember to link it, but if you're like super stoked about possibly getting that, maybe in the order comments, or maybe call whatever you're doing, say like, hey, you know, I want to make sure this is like the updated design. So the reason though that that's a big deal, I know a lot of people are like, man, when are you gonna ever do that screwdriver stuff? I didn't want to come in and do like, here's Stavrilla's handles and here's Vera's handles and here, you know, you get the idea, and then not have it like coherently flow through the entire lineup of what we brought in, because I was waiting on this, and now it's finally here. That's a huge deal. So I'm going to make a decision here, and I am going to let my nephew have, I guess, the one that goes in order. I feel like that's more likely how they should have been packed. So we're going to open this one up, and you probably are familiar with Vitt drivers, or you might not. This one was actually opened, so that would explain it. It's the tape was cut right there. It could be packing, could be, who knows, maybe this was like their demo set. I have no idea. But there they are. We're going to go ahead and pull these out again. Obviously, you can get larger sets. This one is going to be the smallest one. Obviously, we'll peel that off, hope it comes off. This will be the 0.8 4.0 by 75. Again, metric not my thing. Not gonna lie about it. Right here, the number 1 Phillips shaft on that one is gonna be an 80. Coming into our next slotted, which I think is either slightly shorter or the same length, it is going to be a 1.0 by 5.5 by 100. So yep, that's a 4-inch shaft. And then of course, we've got this guy, the one that we needed to progress on the channel. And sadly, I say that, and if I do make those videos, I'll have to interject them, because like I said, I've got crud stacked up. But this is it, man. This is what I've waited on for so long. And yeah, it looks good. But this is, of course, the number 2 Phillips in the exact configuration we need to make all the follow-up and, you know, forward videos. And we're finally going to get to do that. Could not be happier. Some of you are probably excited too. But right here, our final one, the big slotted 1.2, 6.5, 125. So we're going to come in, set the bit of things off to the side. We're going to line these guys up like so. And that's basically what we've got, right? But the big comparison here that I want to do for you is twofold. We're going to take this. Again, this is our main point of emphasis here for me personally. And right beside it, this was the old design, this is the new design. And while I actually really did like these, what I found is if I ever use them, they get filthy. And a lot of times when I opened them, like in the tool hauls, you can go back and probably see me comment on them, like they were dirty. Like not filthy, but like fingerprints, oil, I don't know, like brown, black, grease stains, like as delivered. That part sucks. It's one thing if you do it, it's another thing if you buy brand new tool and it comes in, it's like, man, it looks like somebody's been using this, at least the handle, right? So I could see some of you actually, this was a very unique color scheme, very bright, easy to see. That would be the advantage here, is just visibility being the lighter color, especially think of like a stereotypical engine bay or an interior if you're doing stereo work. Even like assembly line, just it's bright. You don't see many screwdrivers that are like grayscale white colors. So, and it stands out really well, even low light conditions. But I could actually see some of you liking this better. In the comment section, I want to know, do you prefer the old design or the new design? While I am a fan of this one, if I had to pick between the two, I'm going here because it's black and blue. But man, it's just a sweet setup. I want to highlight here on the end of the tri-lobe, you got the cross for Phillips, you got two in the middle to indicate the size. If we drop down here to the big one, our big slotted, you can see there it's just a straight bar with the 6.5. Let me try to kind of block out some of the stuff behind us. And then I will showcase the awl for good reason right here. Went ahead and paused that, we were about to time out. But the reason I want these two side by side, and the reason it was such a great tandem purchase, aside from getting us free freight, this is the MaxxPro Pro. This is the MaxxPro Plus. What is the difference? Look at this blue pad right here. Looks awesome, stands out, might even be more aesthetically pleasing than this one, honestly. This just has the fiber pads, and what do those do? Again, it's just think of like oily situations. You just get a little bit better grip. Obviously you have a much bigger grip zone there. Sort of funky little shapes. I know some of you hate those barcodes, but it is what it is. But yeah, that is just sort of the comparison. Again, everything Vitt did, and we've got plenty of them scattered across his shop. It used to be, yes, they do, you know, rebrands and stuff for other companies, but everything used to be that came out from their place was just like this, the sort of grayscale. You'll also note they changed the orientation of the pads. I'm not sure that this wouldn't actually provide more contact with your hand and be possibly more beneficial, although aesthetically you can see why they did it. They wanted their name on it. They wanted the sort of different updated design as opposed to like having the reverse teardrops or tanks on them type of a deal. So this is just a big deal for the screwdriver part of the channel here. So if you were here for that stuff, you can probably understand why I'm giddy. But again, these actually follow the format and design that you see with the Matco drivers. So if you want me to bring in the blue Matco, I'm only doing one of them because honestly I'm not sure that I wouldn't prefer this better as a set. Plus it's way more affordable. I realize the Matco set's a little bit bigger. It includes the stubbies, all that cool stuff. It is a super good looking screwdriver set, but man, those prices are insane, especially when you can go direct to the manufacturer and pick it up for like fractions. I'm talking fractions of the price. So for example, like one of these standalone, you're probably looking at sub $10. This standalone is like almost $25, which is kind of crazy. But that is it. This is it. Like I said, a huge deal for the screwdriver part of the channel. For everyone like, man, when are you ever going to do that? As dumb as it sounds, and I think I've mentioned it a few times, like this was what I was waiting on. I might have found one more from Vitt that I didn't know existed. Again, I don't have any of their catalogs. I just sort of piece it together. It's not like this is their top of the line stuff. It would be like sort of mid-tier from them. And I'm not sure that I've ever seen singles available, and I don't really want to buy the set. I think it would be forgivable at this point, and the main thing, the tips, I believe, would be the same. perform, you know, really, really close, if not dead on exactly. But that's what I was waiting on. Years ago, like before my thumb got pulled into a saw even, I had like filmed the Stavilla handle comparison. This is like, I don't know, is it 2017, 2018, somewhere in there? Might have been 2018, could have been 19, but I'd like filmed that because it was simple, because they have like two, and I was like, sweet, we're gonna get this rolling. And I was like, no, I've got to wait, you know. And I was getting more, and I'm like, we're actually gonna go bigger with this and do it right. And then this was updated, and I just could never get it. And finally, the set was such a stupid good price, I couldn't pass it up. So that's literally all we got, though, was 2 sets of these. Again, the other one is going to get wrapped up, given to my nephew. We picked up, of course, the Awl back there, which I think is actually going to be a really nice addition. And then we landed 4 Gedore Pens, which are super useful, although they're primarily there just for the free freight, I'm not going to lie. So typically I would have thrown on some other items that I wanted, but they were out of stock. And like I said, I kind of needed these here for his birthday. Since 2 were in stock, I was like, man, this is meant to be. We're making it happen. So hopefully my nephew will like these for his birthday. I think it's an awesome first screwdriver set. Again, mine goes back to like Stanley's. I always wanted that big Craftsman set with the keychain, you know, when I was little. And I wound up with some Stanleys, you know, like the old USA Acetate yellow ones. But if I was getting these as a first set, I'd be pretty stoked. So that's just me. So hopefully he enjoys these, gets some years and years of use out of them. And if nothing else, when I'm over there in my sister's place, I can raid these now, and I don't have to remember to bring as much stuff. So I'm slowly building that up. It's for him and my sister, but at the same time, since I'm the one that usually does stuff, it's kind of for me too, in a weird way. But hey, I'm not going to complain. So super, super happy with these. Again, tool of the day, that was the time to strike. I hope you cashed in on these. If you don't follow the tool of the day like I do, it's something worth doing, whether you do it on social media or whether you come in and you actually like just check the website, which that's 100% what I do. Social media, you know, it's kind of hit and miss with me, but you know, I'm fine going to a website. It's on my time, and I just go and have my little fun, see if it's something I'm interested in. And in cases like this, I'm like, ooh, gotta get that order turned in fast. So again, my advice, always, you know, like if this was a one standalone driver and it was $8 tool of the day, you know, I'm not advocating you to like add $70 worth of stuff to get free freight. You know, go ahead and pay shipping there. But if you've been kind of stocking things on your wish list, you can sort of come in and, you know, like let's say it was a pliers wrench that was on sale for $55. You can come in and you're like, man, if I just had $20 more stuff, instead of you having to sit there and go through the site, you can be like, hey, I'm going to go buy that extension, or I needed another, you know, 1/4-inch hex with a holding function I wanted to try out at work. It adds up. Just keep it there and get your free freight. Because like I said, at that price point, when you're like $10 to $20 away from the free freight, I just say add to it. It's just more economically advantageous, I believe. But you know, if you're getting a standalone driver, like, pay the freight. And truth be told, it's USPS second day air, so it's not like super high, nothing crazy. But yeah, just some buying tips there. Again, the seasonal event is Heyco. If you've wanted to try Heyco stuff, check that out. It'd be a good point to drop in. Similarly, the essential sale, I'm not quite sure how long that one runs, but it is available as I'm filming this. And if it's still there, you'll kind of see the notice. And they send out emails. If you're not on the email list, I suggest you do that. But that's about all I have got. I am thrilled about this. I can finally progress. And super excited about this. So my feet are frozen. The space heater hasn't turned off. That's not a good sign. I may go in and make supper, maybe edit this thing, but yeah, for everyone wondering what the holdup was, it was right here and it's taken care of. And man, am I ever excited. Case in point, if you want to KC Tool, you can go to like 63035. Might pull up some other stuff, but it should pull this up. I'll try to remember to link it. But man, is that a good looking set of drivers. Again, in terms of aesthetics, ooh, you know, this is right up my, some of you are going to hate it. Some of you are going to be like, what, they discontinued that? That's the best looking driver I've ever seen. Tell them, tell KC Tool to tell their reps, tell, you know, get on, Facebook or Instagram, or email direct, stay up late and call Germany. Let them know, like, you've made a terrible mistake. This was the best thing in the world. What have you done? But who knows, there might be some new old stock that they really want to unload, and you could get like a great deal on an entire fleet. No one knows until you ask, so don't be shy, go for it and see what happens. That way you can live life with no regrets. But on that note, I'll tell you, as I said, no regrets. I see ballast back here. Never spill that. That's a great add-on item, though. If you've ever wanted to try that, by the way, don't spill it, as I can't stress that enough. That would like cover 7 to 10, kind of depends what you do with it. So, yeah. Anyway, you know the drill. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all three at LoneStarMopars.com. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Again, your thoughts and experiences here with any of these items, your thoughts on what you think of the new color scheme versus the old color scheme, what you think of Matco versus Vitt, where you would go. Would you pay more for like the specialty colors, which, not gonna lie, they're super awesome. It's just they're super pricey to go along with it, especially as a set. But I mean, $25 for a driver, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I guess with the warranty and everything, it's justifiable. It's brought to you. All different sorts of ways of looking at it. But your thoughts there, the MaxxPro versus the MaxxPro Plus, anything you want to get into. We might just have to expedite the Vitt stuff because they had a lot of different handle styles. Maybe we'll do that. I was going to go alphabetically. That's how cool I am. Maybe we'll do it reverse order. I don't know. We'll figure something out. You'll see it. Again, if you subscribe, YouTube should let you know we got new videos every Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Texas time, Central Standard Time. Also do stuff on Wednesdays most weeks. Maybe there will be some other things. Again, if you ring the bell and jump your charger across the creek while wielding your Vitt number 2 MaxxPro Plus, maybe, just maybe, YouTube will let you know that we've got a new video up. Otherwise, you can follow along Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. Do my best to keep you updated. But with that said, super excited about all of this stuff. Particularly fantastic buy on the set. I get to give it to my nephew. I think he'll be happy. That's a super nice handle on an awl. It looks great as well. And of course, we finally, this applies. You could go buy like a 71-cent Gedore ballpoint pen. They really do write well, in my opinion, and I like the blue. But if you're like, I legitimately buy those for a reason. But if you do that, you'll still get a bit of things. Won't get free freight, won't get the sticker pack, but you get free freight. And we have a change in the bit of things, which is super cool. So, I'm going to quit rambling. I might try to crank out another video. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you cashed in on this fantastic deal on Tool of the Day, let me know in the comments section when they show up for you. Again, sorry, I got the last two. But that's why I do things late at night. You work out, and then I, shortly after midnight, check this stuff. So when you get them in, please let me know what you think of them. I think people kind of sleep on these, and I think it's also sad, like a lot of the Matco fanatics, that love this driver, don't realize it's this company, a lot of the time. Like, you can see it on there, it's hard to read, but a lot of times people don't ask. They're just like, yeah, they make the best drivers. It's like, well, it's the same thing, But let me know your thoughts on them when you get them. Again, that was a deal that was like, I want to say 51% off. I mean, it was just a fantastic deal for Tool of the Day. So I guess the big thing is, aside from us progressing here, cool gift from my nephew. So can't argue with that. With that said, I hope that you have yourself a fantastic weekend. And I will catch you back here hopefully next week for more action from the shop.